Good morning and welcome to the Be the Light meditation today. It is July 2020. We're still in the pandemic. We went through the first, then things quieted. Now they're going up again. So we are not finished adjusting to present change and most likely permanent change as a result of the fallout of all of this in our own personal lives, the social infrastructure, and for Earth as the bigger picture. And that's what we always want to focus on in these meditations, because if you are watching this, maybe you feel a responsibility, or maybe you just feel constantly pushed by spirit, or it's a whisper in your ear, or a sense of there's much more than this going on. There's much more I need to pay attention to, even if other people say it's fantasy and woo-woo and goofy and has no meaning. Today is actually the Mary Magdalene Feast day. So it's an important day for this topic because 2,000 years ago, a seed was planted on this planet of the highest vibration that a human could hold, that allows us 2,000 years later, through many lineages and consciousnesses, and you're being born many times along the timeline as well, that implanted 2,000 years ago the potential for humans to have a full light body ascension experience. Without that implantation, guess what? Where Earth is going in her normal turning and the normal shifting of how planets refurbish themselves, especially because humans have been kind of naughty renters and inhabitants. But where Earth herself is going and where her infrastructure is now is a pristine new grid. So humans have a window here, and because an ascended human being was born 2,000 years ago, who was absolutely crucified, no one understood what this was, for himself and the people around him, the ability to merge and know what everyone is thinking and doing, what's wrong with them, breathe into them a sound or a tone and heal them. What was implanted then is now something that we understand as physics and vibrational orchestrated absolute truth. Sound, healing, everything is vibration. So the being who brought this energy to Earth, it was the Christed being, but mainly he took on the mantle of the vibrational field of Christed consciousness. And guess what? Buddha did too. Any consciousness who came to Earth and implanted and did that was all part of a huge, bigger plan to allow humans in the years of the 2000, when Earth is ready for a shampoo and a haircut of everything, outdated haircuts, outdated is not working anymore. Just that's us, humans. We're being shaken off, and we can either be lean, mean, ascended, high vibrational beings and reside in a new place that's been created for humans. And this has been prophesied in every single religion with different stories, different gurus, different leaders, blah, blah, blah. But in your soul, if you are watching this, that you're here to release your lower vibrations, come into your core higher essence and look around, and with other people who are being lit up, join hands, we are better together, ignite and hold a new grid that we can actually live on the new Earth together. So that's what we're doing. So how does Mary Magdalene come into work here? I'm going to make sure everybody's muted, because I heard a little while ago somebody's dog might be barking coming up. So everybody's muted but me. We're perfect. So how does Mary Magdalene come into play, and why is that important for us as women? Well, the being who is Christed consciousness, is about equality. We're all divine beings. But Christ gave his message, and when they crucified him, why? Because he was a threat to the patriarchy and they couldn't hold the power on the top of the pyramid. they crucified him. So after he died, all of his male disciples began arguing of now who's in charge. And one of them would get an activation and have a whole new platform and like market it and suddenly charismatically get new people. And he'd say, well, look, the people are following me. Well, meanwhile, his partner, the one who really got him, the one that Christ came to after he died and said, I'm in my light body now, and I will teach you in this, and you can continue your work, was Mary Magdalene. She didn't try to be in charge. She actually was being attacked and they were trying to demoralize her. Who do you think you are? Why would Christ come and talk to a woman? Well, in fact, she kept serving and teaching the processes of lightening up, of loving your neighbor as yourself, all the things that the males began their embittered patriarchal march towards, what's been created now, through the authoritarian patriarchal church. So Mary Magdalene was silenced. Well, there's a little surprise. At the Last Supper, she knew she was pregnant. And she and Christ had this surprise that they planted this seed, this lineage of their blood together, their hopes together. And the name of this child was Sarah, which means daughter of the Father of Light. So the women that I work with often resonate with, wow, I could be the daughter of the perfect masculine feminine working together to bring light to the world. And now, rather than the son of the Trinity, it is the daughter's turn. It is the feminine way, because the masculine, focused, toxic, electric way has just about burned us all out of our wits. So this Sarah essence, over 2,000 years, has been born and reborn and born and reborn because it's in the actual blood. When a being takes in a high vibration, guess what? That DNA starts spinning. That junk DNA becomes what they call divine DNA. And there are scientists who have proven that people who can work with light and morph time and space have a different DNA profile and can use their thoughts to shift reality. So you can see why it's so cute. The Da Vinci Code movie really highlighted, hey, let's find this lineage and let's get rid of them, because essentially they're going to be a lot of trouble down the line, because they're going to derail our control power over system. And that's what that movie was about. So here we are. And I feel like the Be the Light meditations I do are this megaphone of the original feminine Christed consciousness. And believe me, the whole thing of Jesus Christ, everything that churches stuffed down our throats of worship this guy and everything. No, the original churches were tables where people sat. That's the feminine way. So Mary Magdalene is about speaking the truth, owning your sexuality, your sensuality, being a human in the world, but serving and teaching in a way that you always hold your value, because you don't let the outside world that isn't in on our secret or information because it scares them. You don't reference yourself by the outside world. So today, on Mary Magdalene's feast day, we are going to continue our thread from last week of valuing ourselves so that we resonate out that yes, we will receive abundance, that our work is important, what we are bringing, which has been traditionally thought of as artistic and sweet and this and that, but hey, if you work for me, you are my slave. And the bottom line is the money. Last hurrah on that. And so today, on Mary Magdalene's feast day, we're going to imagine that we women are saying, just like Mary Magdalene did, we're going to do it anyway. We're going to show up and we're going to teach, and we're going to stay out of dangerous lights, of dangerous, who knows, whatever, vaccines, control programs, or things to keep us. That's not possible for us. Why? Because we're working with divine energies, which always have dominion and an ability to see ahead and plan and to know what is in the highest divine order. And Earth, having selected people who reduce their baggage and are lighthearted, will inherit the new Earth. So some of these old churchy little one-liners, they really make sense to me now. So here we are, Mary Magdalene Feast Day, and we are going to continue with last week's topic of allowing and receiving abundance in our lives. And don't worry, you don't have to believe about Sarah and Magdalene and Christ as a couple. Everything is a story. It's just energetic flows that allow us to have some anchoring or pictures that make sense in a human realm. Okay. So we're going to start our meditation now. Make sure that your backbone is nice and straight. And we will begin with a nice deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. So we are emptying ourselves now of worldly pictures, thoughts, visions, agendas, even pictures of the future. We are becoming absolutely present and empty to what is in this moment. Take a deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. We ask and intend to set a sacred space. Feel that as we say that, certain foundational underpinnings come with your energetic system and really land in this earth and in this body. You are a visitor here, so think of it that you are one of those visiting probes launched by a satellite from your place in heaven, and here you are landing. So you are solid, and you are protected, and you are connected to your true home out there, which still has a wonderful pipeline of information, knowing, and a magical toolkit, as well as being here. But let's change it so you're here, but you actually, just like when we humans go visit another planet, you're here on Earth and you kind of have a spacesuit to protect yourselves. Why? Because the vibration is a little thicker here and it kind of contracts and whacks. It gives a whack by being here. Humans' thoughts come by and they come against you, and sometimes you have a crazy thought. It's not yours at all. You're a diaphanous vibrational sponge. You're here to recalibrate, but all these years you live in this body and you didn't know that. So now you can imagine and put your beautiful imaginary spacesuit on. Your big girl, beautiful galactic spacesuit. And it can be gorgeous, doesn't have to be big moon hands puffy. But it protects you so that you remember, so that you know who you are. And you can tell others who they are, and you can tell them the truth. The Mary Magdalene Opera, which I saw twice in San Francisco, all through the wording in the singing was, tell them. Tell them. I know that you can't tell somebody something if you're not clear on it yourself. That muddiness, that insecurity, who am I to say the divine truth? Who am I to value myself? If there is a wobbly vibration in there from your human self, people will attack and attach you and trigger you in those insecurities. That's why we focus on the voice, so we can tell them the good news that you're a divine being and you can change, shift, and you can heal yourself. You've been gypped out of the knowledge of who you personally really are. So to tell them, we have to be it ourselves. We have to model it. It takes so much courage. Every day we go through so many decisions, so many social prompts, and we're afraid if we get too perfect and too full of light and we become this Christ consciousness megaphone, people will string us up just like they did to Christ and other heretical martyrs and people who they couldn't stand to be around because they're so damn perfect and scary. So we got to let all that go too. We got to let all of these fears go. And I'll tell you, the key here is humor. It's not, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. Here's the good news. I know what I am. It's, oh my God, look at what is happening. Can we choose a new way? Hey, come on, sisters. Let's sit at this table. And pretty soon we start feeding each other, metaphorical, new vibrations, activating and supporting each other in this banquet, this feast. Mary Magdalene is about a feast. You know, she lived till she was in her 80s or 90s with people who loved her and supported her. An entire army of Templars. The Templars in France multiplied and created a whole infrastructure to protect the line of the divine feminine, with Mary Magdalene as the queen who wore the crown. And the plan with Sarah, with the seed, was, guess what? Thousands of crowns are now waiting with your name on it. Crown doesn't mean you're special, just means you've opened your crown chakra and you've chosen to be the light that you are. To trust yourself enough to let go of everything that you aren't. All right. Take a deep breath. I always keep talking just to get you more trusting and ready to let go. So imagine that you've been walking around with this frozen personality, talking and walking and being, and it's so freaking tired. It's such a put together, and it's tired of the facade, the show. It's trying to be all these things for people that just don't really get you. And they know you're holding back, and that annoys them too, subconsciously on a certain level. So why not just be it? And imagine if you just let go and you be this light. That's the key to abundance. Other people want to sit at your table. What is she drinking? Does she have some for me? Of course you do. People want to feel good. They want their pain to go away. And if you are in your light, even sitting in your presence or looking at you, oh, I've waited my whole life to meet you. Can we work together? And they will use their last money to take their pain away and feel better. Bingo! You are being yourself, and there is great value in that. You're not assigning the value. It's who you are. When you are who you are, there's a huge value in other people will want to feed you in reciprocity. And right now it's money. It's the last breath of the money system. In the future, it will be gifting and reciprocity. And so you're leading the way on that as well. Because if you're listening to this, you never overcharge. And if somebody really needs it, of course, you are there to assist and support them. It is the new feminine way. So the point of today's meditation is to strengthen our courage, our trust in this process, but mainly just to let go. Because in our inner core, there's nothing to fix or bring in or blah, blah, blah. It's to feel safe enough to let go, okay? All right. So if we set this sacred space, we open our crown chakra, we ask and intend, we choose to release subtle and huge and all fears as we imagine letting go. We let go of the stories and scripts that our parents wrote for us that we so carefully embodied and studied and still felt we came up short. We forgive ourselves for not fitting into the mold of a broken world and broken stories with broken parents. We release everybody from all the judgment and projection that we now have in our more awakened state. We are cutting all the cords. We are letting go. We are releasing the tension in our stomach of I'll never be normal, I'll never fit in, or how scary it would be to be my divine self. We are releasing all the fears from our stomach powerfully now, emptying out all the fears. The word I get is scary. When we were little, before we forgot that we shouldn't have these expanded, wonderful, universal, powerful feelings and remembered who we are, it became scary to share or be our real selves in the world, our real selves. So we ask and intend that that little girl that said it's scary to feel one way and to be expected and imprinted with another worldly model and role. We are choosing to let go of this scariness now. And this scary takes the form, a big cloak. We had a big cloak over us, over our eyes, over our head, over our shoulders. It's safer to not be seen. We ask and intend to remove the idea that it is safer to not be seen. We now know it is impossible to stay in that unseen state. It doesn't work. We implode, we explode. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. We give ourselves complete permission to disrobe, to dissolve the shield of invisibility that we ourselves have put on. And as it is shedding, we bring in this field of complete, I'll think of the word in a minute, protection. We ask and intend that we don't feel naked and vulnerable. A shield of impermeability, something that cannot be traversed. It is a boundary of pure light that is replacing your old cloak. People can see through it, and I guess that's kind of your glow. You know the old pictures of saints, how they'd glow? That was simply their energetic field that people with the gift to see could see, that there is a beautiful yellow glowing crown chakra around them and around their body. Take a deep breath, and you're thinking, well, who am I to think I'm a saint? Well, let me tell you, you chose to come here as a visitor. Don't pretend that you're smaller than you are, because there's others much bigger than you on this earth and not in physical bodies. So you're just in the mix, okay? It's just on earth we've been dumbed down to think we're just these physical bodies. So it's not bigger than, more important than, everything is divine. So get over that and get clear about yourself. We're not worrying about anything else right now. So I'm keeping talking because guess what? Your internal being is, it's like a fumigating and a churning and an opening, frothing, and it's like when you whip eggs, it's becoming more full of light all the time. It is opening, letting more light in, All the densities are giving it up. I am done. I am safe. I am not vulnerable to hurt. I just am. What is. I am choosing to accept what is within myself. Take a deep breath, and things are still shedding and moving. The cloak is gone. The shield of impermeability is on. You have your beautiful imagined self emerging. This is like the butterfly day. It's like the day of coming out in your butterfly costume, outfit, self. And you might want to draw a picture later or envision this. And when the butterfly comes out, they pause and they pulse that juice up into those little, it's a certain name of it. Then they have this, is it proboscis? No, that's the hummingbird. But they fill up. They fill up with this juice in their wings, and they allow the sun to emanate warmth so that everything becomes just the right temperature, dryness, so the butterfly can fly. So we are going to pause here for just a moment and imagine that we're pumping the essence into our auric field. It is pouring in through our crown chakra, this new elixir of light. We have our beloved divine being helpers, the unseen ones assisting and supporting us. Our own higher self, of course, is orchestrating this as it is what is being embodied and coming into yourself. Why? Because you're not stuffing it out anymore. You're letting it in. So you're being filled with this wonderful bubble champagne-like essence, especially in the back of your neck. Let it bubble in. Oh, delicious, wonderful. Let it come in until you truly are full of light. You are becoming light. You are being the light. And notice, you still feel safe. You're still in your body. And guess what? You feel great and you're protected. Excellent. I still feel people's stomachs going, oh my God, I have so many rungs of old energies and fears and holding back and girding and armoring and protecting to let go of. So we are the butterflies. We are resting on the garden post, just sending ourselves, letting our wings expand, having a beautiful bubble of protection. And from this space, with this vision, we look around and say, oh, I see other butterflies. I see other awakening women. We can fly together and be a flock. And people will see us. That delicate, beautiful, empowered butterflies can fly thousands of miles together to find and get what they need. Think about this. Protect each other. Take a nice deep breath, and it feels so good to feel at home on this planet, in this body. So just let this energy, it's like, it's light, it's fluffy, it's palpating in any part of your old physical infrastructure that is letting go. You might feel like just a little twitch of release, which feels wonderful. Twitch, relax. Twitch, relax. Excellent. Take a nice deep breath. It's funny, I just thought, do butterflies have language? Wonder if I could speak butterfly. Just kidding. Of course, everything has language, sound, movement, encodements. Just rest for a moment. So we ask and intend that these energies stabilize and integrate and become part of our operational system, that we feel safe to be open, uncloaked, to be visible, and for our words and actions and sight and all that we are and do to flow from this core. And so it is. So we finished this part of the meditation, and I press record. I press the recording off, and then we can talk for a few minutes. My name is Jan Jorgensen, and this will be posted on the website, soundandlighthealingarts.com, on Wednesday morning meditations, where you will find many other topics. Thank you for joining me today.